have portfolio of multiple supplier, so if one supplier is not able to kind of provide the raw material, immediately you can kind of locate to another supplier and can secure your raw material. So if you consider lack of supply can kind of significantly impact the economies of scale that you want to achieve and can lead you to these economies of scale. So definitely one of the solution to lack of supply or lack of resources is very much about kind of like you must think of a portfolio and secure multiple suppliers. So that could be one solution. I'm not sure, someone said market changes. Can you explain like how market changes can trigger these economies of scale? Girls, guys, can I ask like who mentioned market changes? And can you kind of tell me like how market changes can trigger these economies of scale? Anyone? Anyone? Because it's not clear to me, like market can change, but how it's gonna impact your economies of scale? Because a market changes, it's your external pressure, and if that external pressure could happen, why you are going to lose economies of scale? How the per unit cost will increase? I mean, if you say due to market changes, the raw material cost increases significantly, yes, that can happen. But I'm really not sure about market changes. You mentioned about communication and communication overload, communication gap. How that is relevant? Anyone? Communication? Who posted communication or anything related to communication? And how that is relevant to economies of scale or these economies of scale? And what do you mean by communication? Like communication between whom? What do you mean by that? Go ahead, please. Yes.
Okay. I believe that in the company we have a lot of department, and when we can communicate, for example, about the project, the finance and marketing can work together.
Yes.
We can do anything about this project.
All right. Yeah. Interesting. Yes, I totally agree. I can give you a more relevant example, a practical example that's something you can relate. So under the economies of scale, what do? You produce product, right? The more production you do, your per unit cost will reduce. Guys, please pay some attention. This is interesting, and everyone, please pay attention. In the last 3 weeks or 3 weeks ago, if you follow the newspaper, have you heard this particular news that Gulf country in the Middle East is running out of inventory in terms of the unrefined crude oil? Have you heard that news? Like the Gulf country, they just simply cannot store the oil anymore. Because in an oil refinery, you just simply cannot stop an oil refinery. Because if you stop an oil refinery, it's gonna cost you a significant amount of money and sometimes can damage the system, and you will not be able to kind of extract oil from the middle of earth. So what oil extraction company, what they do normally, they continuously try to extract the crude oil from the center of the earth. Now the point is, why, because of the war in the Middle East, triggered this particular problem? Because once you extract the oil, what do? You fill up the tankers, right? You fill up the tankers, and then the tankers will go for multiple places, different places. Like there was a two tanker I think came to Vietnam as well, because Vietnam buys its natural oil from Middle East as well. Now the point I'm trying to explain, he mentioned about communication. Forget about the war, but let's say if the inventory management system is not maintaining effective communication with the production system, if something goes wrong and you are not able to ship the inventory, there is no space in the inventory, but then your production department can send another batch of produced product, and then you will end up not having inventory. You need to go and hire another inventory, for example, another warehouse, for example. Immediately will increase the fixed cost of the company. The moment fixed cost of the company will increase,